Hey, Mark. Mark, I feel like I'm sweating it out, and uh, so so hold on, Mark. One second. I'm just finishing sharing my link. Um, I have to share it as they changed the whole interface on Patreon. So all the buttons are in different places. I'm almost done. It's just taking me extra longer to get. Okay, wonderful. All right. How's everyone today? All right. I'll be right back, team. One second. Look at my my hair. I feel a lot better. I'm just trying to sweat it out a lot, and I think it's working. I'm breathing fine, but yesterday I was just awful. It's weird because when I lie down, one of my noses was always open, no matter what side it was. I was like, sometimes it was all just one side, and then sometimes all the other. So I was able to sleep better without feeling like I'm drooling all over myself. And I was like, oh, praise God for that. So I really felt like I could feel at times your prayers, and then I would feel like it would just come on strong, and then I'd just get better again, and I just kept how to hold on to the faith because there's a faith you can have when you're healing, when you're believing for healing for your own self, and it's like, but it's hard to believe when you just feel all the physical sickness. You have to change, your faith in the middle of the pain, and it's hard when you're actually dealing with it. But I'm doing a lot better. So thank you guys for all of your prayers. I got invited tomorrow to a private prayer meeting with some people from YouTube. Um, some of the people you guys heard about. So I'm excited to. It's kind of like a meet and greet and a prayer meeting. So I'm really curious about the meeting, and they had give me like an itinerary of things they want to pray for. But it's nice to meet some of these popular people on YouTube. Some of the popular, and so I'm going to that meet and greet tomorrow, and uh, I hope Shamika from from Motivation. I hope she's coming. You know who's coming? Uh, Sharon from Daily Bread. Yeah, so she's gonna be there, and it's my morning tomorrow, but it's actually a meeting in the UK. So um, I hope some good comes of it. We might make some good connections. I'm really glad to be, or a little humbled to be invited. So thank you everybody who prayed for me. If you guys are just joining us now, I did want to say a special thank you to a few people who sent in their homeworks. Um, let's go. Their names. Vibrant, we got yours. I got your chart. Thank you for sharing with us your chart, Vibrant. Here's and she was showing. She has her flows. Look at these. These are good. No, no. See, these are some of your major flows. Today we're actually going to be doing a continuation of flows, but a 101 class. and then we're gonna spend about only a half an hour doing that, and then we're gonna move on to recaps for today. Get everybody, I want everybody to have a basic understanding of how to see patterns and to start drawing. There's just a few basics, so we'll begin that recording just a little bit. But I want to say thank you to Vibrant, and then we also want to thank Yuri. He sent his charts that were really good. He's got he's got his bottoms here, and then he's got his phantom angle right here. Here's his key angle. You can see price responding. What is this crypto? Energy web token on Tether, and he's connecting these bottoms. He's seeing how price is responding here. Here he sees a really big energy spike right here. We can see how price came all the way down but stopped right here and then reverse tracked before coming back down. And so he identified that this point is important. What he did was he took his key angle and he duplicated that angle and put it right here at the bottom of this little energy center, and we saw in the future price responding to that level. See how it responds to this angle. He knows which angle to watch out for because he drew his key angle correctly. Also, if you duplicate your key angle correctly, you're going to see price responding in the future. Look at it. He put this one at the top here. He didn't put it right here, but you can see price responding to this angle and also coming close to this angle as well. I would like to see, this is on a weekly chart, so this is over much time. And now he knows that we'll be looking at this area as a possible resistance. And for price to start trading below here also is a sign of weakness. When we started coming below in this area, before we weren't getting closes, but now we are. And so when price comes up and spikes on the underside but can't come across, that's a big deal. These candles are a big deal. This means major weakness. And so Yuri was able to see this on the chart EWT and use this principle in practice in real life. Fantastic work to Yuri. Let's do a recording. I want to thank everybody before we begin. Thank everybody for your prayers, and I do apologize about if I offended anybody with a picture of Jesus on the cross. I put a humorous picture of Jesus. He has a good six-pack of abs. I like to imagine Jesus had a good workout. They say he was a carpenter. The more proper term is a builder, but it could have been with wood. It could have been with with stones. I believe he had to be in shape for the cross. So I believe that Jesus was physically fit. I don't believe that he was a weakling on the cross, and to carry the cross and to carry the burden. It was I believe he was in shape physically and spiritually. I don't think he was overly in shape, but I believe he was in shape. And there was a joke that I made about well, let's hit the recording button. Let's do that record. I don't mind recording. My apology. So let us begin our show for today. Oh, we're already live. Oh, did we already go live? Oh my. Oops. Okay, so we're already live. But I wanted to apologize for the picture if I offended anybody. The joke says something along the line of what is the workout routine for the to get the body of Christ? Now that's a joke because we are the body of Christ, so you don't have to have a workout to get the body of Christ. But somebody said in the comments, oh, the answer is CrossFit, which is a type of it's a new type of exercise that people are doing. It's like a multiple type of mixture of different exercises, and it's like a routine that they have. It's called CrossFit, and they do competitions for the CrossFit. So cross of Jesus, I love it. But at the end, if you guys are offended, I don't want to offend anybody. So I do apologize. I have a little bit of a Christian humorous sense of humor that comes from my many years as a youth pastor, where you have to be a little bit funny when preaching to teenagers, because they don't get a lot of the jokes, so you have to go a little bit lower. You have to lower your standards with teenagers a little bit. They look at you like, huh? What is he talking about? Speak English, and you have to like talk slow, and you know what I mean. Never thought I'd thought of that, but he must have been strong. Yes, Beatrice, he must have been strong. I wouldn't be surprised if Jesus was fit on the cross. Would have been like, whoa. But you'd only know that if you go back in time, but we'll find out. The Bible says that the glory of a woman is her long hair, and the glory of a man is in his strength. That's what it says. Now, I believe that Adam was also muscular, fit, strong, you know, chiseled a little bit. I also believe that I've been losing my muscle mass. So, especially when I've been sick and you know, ever since I stopped traveling a little bit, I lost my muscle mass. So it's time to start building up, just as we must build up the body of Christ. So anyway, let's get into some more of those. Since I am live, I'm sorry I didn't put on the disclosure. Everything in this video is not financial investment or trading advice of any kind. Everything is just for entertainment, educational, and comedic purposes only. Bear in mind that I eat red crayons for breakfast, and sometimes when I'm fasting, I don't eat red crayons. And then, like right after the fast, it's all I can think about: red crayons. No, just kidding. Just read between the lines per my YouTube disclosure. I also wanted to share Imasa's charts. Thank you so much, Imasa, for sending your two charts. These are fantastic work. You can see that Imasa is looking at CHF, which is the Swiss franc, on Forex, the pair of Japanese yen, CHF yen. And you can see that Imasa put a sword cut right here, put it in yellow, right where price crosses over. So that, again, this is not a tutorial. This is a 101 class, but we just want to show that some of our students here are applying some of the principles from sword method to their charts, whatever charts they're trading. And here is CHF chart. This is on a what? A weekly chart. So here he's looking at the weekly chart, and they can see that this is where the sword cut would be. This is where price cut through. This is where the sword cut would be in this range. And in addition to this, you can see price responding over and over again to these areas. Okay, so just connect these tops and look for where it crosses over price, and just draw a flat line. And what they're seeing in a few other ways also. In addition to this, here's a top and here's a bottom. Here's a mid phantom, and price crossed over this mid phantom here. So you can also draw your step up line as well. So both a sword cut, a range, and a mid phantom cut all in one line. And you can see price just climbing and stepping and building structure along here. And when that happens, you look very closely for breakouts, especially of all the energy in here. In this case, he drew this line connecting these tops and these bottoms. I don't know if you guys can see it here, but it's there. And this is where price, once price came across on this side, that's when price began to get healthy. It was already building structure, but we didn't know if we were going to finally break out or not. But this is the first thing you really need. You need some good structure if you want a long-term gain. And on this weekly chart, he just connected all those old tops together and drew this line. And there, when all that time was over, you can see price playing in this area, hit this top. If you draw the line, you can see it. It hit it. And then came back down, still just waiting. And this is on a weekly chart. So this is weeks and weeks of nothing. People say, oh, the markets, you can't predict them. Sometimes you can. You can predict a lot of market movements, but sometimes you just really have to zoom out. We can't always predict them, but you can get pretty close to seeing what's supposed to happen or what's more likely the case. Sometimes if you can't see anything, your biggest thing that you're missing is to zoom out. When I was first learning technical analysis, I would mull weeks over certain charts, and I was just like, I can't figure it out. And you know what the answer was? A lot of times, almost all the time, it was zoom out. If I was looking at a daily chart, I needed to look at a 2 hour, 4 hour, 6. If I had it, an 8. Back then, the trading softwares was a little bit different. And now, if you're looking at a 1 hour, 2 hour, just look at a daily chart. If you can see the trade happening on the daily chart, use that in conjunction with what's happening on the weekly chart. Don't take your eye off the horizon. Always, you can look at the smaller charts, but keep your eye on the bigger picture happening. This is going to really help you. In this case, on the weekly chart, we can see weekly we should be going up. But think about this for just a second. How many weeks were we going down on CHF? Like, this is many weeks. This is what? Months, really. 4 weeks is a year, so you got months of just going down. You're like, oh man, the market's not doing anything. And all of a sudden, we just start going up. What? Why did it go up? Well, if you zoom out carefully, you can see that the energy should have ended right here. This is where we had a switch of behavior. In fact, this is where a new sword cut would be as well. And so price was actually building many cases of evidence in this area, all pointing to the timing of this area. And if you get the breakout to the positive side, you're in the money. And last thing I'll say before we begin our tutorial is that's exactly what I believe is happening to Luna Classic. Okay, Luna Classic has I already showed you guys the new the volume spread analysis where I told you guys some hidden buying was coming in the markets. I even made a YouTube video about it, and I said this is the hidden buying coming in on Luna Classic. The price is 0.0000058. So currently it's 0.00058. 4 zeros and a 58. This is the trade. This is the currency that was once trading at $118. I told you guys that I see buying coming in, reading the volume spread analysis. I can see the buying coming in here. And the other things I can see on the 4-hour chart is also a similar pattern of buying. I told everybody about a week ago that these are the prices for that we should be looking at. These prices, anything above here, once you see the buying coming in, is still healthy. And we went up, but then we challenged the top of these areas and came back down. And where did we come back down? To this area. Now, what's important about that area? Well, because we haven't really gone down, even though the markets went down, we actually phased through. All the market was struggling. You can see a lot of the cryptocurrencies, they looked like they were going down like this. But in Luna Classic, it's really interesting because you had the buying already coming in, so people were happy with these. The big whales, all of them were happy with these levels. And what happened after that? Price went to the side. Now, this is very interesting because this tells me that there's a possible breakout happening soon. So I told everybody, look for a breakout above here or here, but we're watching this area. Now, I want to let you know, I had lines that were curved, parabolics, but I did an update on the parabolics about 2 days ago, and I updated them, and they are accurate. So this is the bottom, this is my verification, this is the angle. For you guys who did Tiger analysis, I'm not going to explain the new parabolic today, but I'll explain it for Patreons tomorrow. For people who are part of the normal dive, today is an all Patreon dive. But tomorrow, everyone who's in part of normal dive, you guys will get the new update on how to do that. But this is the map. If you guys want to take a screenshot, just know it is updated. These are the new price levels. If price breaks above here in 0.00071 cents, you'll know that something good has happened. But the other thing that you already know is good is happening is draw this parabolic here in purple. And everyone can draw it using the curve tool by coming down to the toolbar and then hitting curve. Now this is on a 4-hour chart, so you guys can draw it on a 4-hour. You can also really draw it on a daily, but I'm using a 4-hour chart. So I'm clicking over here where it says 4-hour and using, and this one is Bitfinex, is also Luna USD for Bitfinex. Now it has the old name, but it's really LUNC. Even though it says Luna, it has the old name on this data, but it's still current and it's still accurate. So what this means is this is where you draw the top of that parabolic. You're going to draw this curved tool, and this part is a little bit of a tutorial, but we're going to draw a curved tool, and it's going to give you 3 points. A little top point here. Oh, and if it keeps drawing more, you need to make sure it's turned off. So click on here and it won't be blue anymore, and it turns off. If you drew too many, just hit the delete button, or click on your line and then hit the delete button. If you need to undo, go to the bottom where it says undo, click on undo, and then you have it. So now you have your curve. You can move that line around, but just put one of the tops around there, and then you're going to take the other one and you're going to put it somewhere over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to look for the middle point. And we're going to bend that around like you're moving the belly. It's just like moving a belly or something. You know, you guys know how to swim. You move your belly in the water. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're trying to capture the top of this piece and the tops of this, and trying to just make sure that line touches both of them. Sometimes that means moving the center to the side or moving the center to the right. Whatever the case you need to do, both are fine. You just need to capture most of that. Then when you have it, you can stretch it out as long as you need. Just stretch it out. And then if you have to readjust the middle, readjust the middle. And this is how we can see far into the future. What we're trying to do is identify the line we should really be working with. Okay? Now, once we have where the line is really working with, you can adjust it as you need to, but we're really trying to focus on getting these tops to match. And right now I'm matching just those cores right there in this center energy right there, right where the meat of these candles are. Just so you guys can see what I'm doing. This isn't the tutorial for today, but I did want to give you guys so you all know how to follow Luna. So I'm just making sure these tops are right here. Not really the wick. I'm not really concerned about the wick right now. I'm concerned with the meat. And there's a reason. It's because I've already done the wick analysis. Okay, now once I see this and I can see that this is how price is curving, okay, then it's really quite simple after this. Okay, it's really quite simple. I'm just trying to make the edge piece balanced to the first. So I'm keeping that stretch, and I'm stretching it almost about as far as the first one is, and just making sure that the line is kind of balanced. So if it curves this way, I kind of want to continue the curve. I'm not making that curve so extreme or so far down. We're going to come and revisit all these curves when we do our parabolics tutorial, but for right now, just for some of you guys who are in our 201 classes, the people who are been with me for a while, you understand a little bit more about parabolics. You want it to look approximately this. Now, the last thing I'll say about Luna is, why is this important? Well, because Luna has broken that curve. You guys see this? Luna has been trading in this zone. Came up, came down, came up, came down. It's challenged it. I mean, it even challenged it all the way back here. We tried to break out the other day and couldn't. And then we tried to come up and we couldn't. You can see how accurate it is. Why is price responding so well here? And why in the world did it have such a big breakout here? And why is that important? Because I believe the change in behavior happened a few days ago. So for you guys who are trading, hello Jessica Mercury, welcome. What this means for everybody who's trading Luna is that strength and health has started to enter the market. Maybe not strength, but health has entered the market. What does this mean? That means that price is going to do one or two things. It's either going to phase for a while, or it's going to come up and challenge this area right here. And it could be a little bit higher or a little bit lower, but I already did the map on it, and this is our tiger line, but it's a tiger adjusted line, and it's a little bit advanced, so I'm not teaching that today, but this is where you really want to just pay attention to these levels. Okay, we'll do the advanced version tomorrow. It's not that hard. It's actually really simple, but I'll teach that tomorrow. But for right now, I just want you to know price is going to challenge up here or continue building on here. But even if it comes down and builds along this line, this is healthy because we've crossed over a lot of this area. So all of this energy in this area is pretty much over. And now we're starting to build into health. Will that mean Luna goes up right away? No, not necessarily. We need to conquer these two areas here, and then Luna's free to start rising. Okay? Is this really the only major areas we should be concerned with? Approximately yes, because the other stuff is way up here, and it happened. We went through those prices a while back. Okay, but we may have some trouble at them because of all the shakeouts that we happened the first day. Remember when Luna crashed, right? We'll have some problems at these areas, but for right now, we're still in a major portion of health. So anyway, I'm going to take screenshots. Everyone's going to see these screenshots on my website, www.patreon.com/jsong_7. Today is an all Patreon day, and we're going to have a tutorial class starting right now, half an hour. At the end of that half an hour, I want you guys to give me the list of cryptocurrencies that you are requesting. I do have a request privately from an email for a PYR. Don't let me forget. All right, and welcome everybody. If you guys are not a normal Dive member, you guys can join Dive if you want to. There are $18 for the whole month, and you get to join our group, and then also, as well as that, is a private Dive email group. So welcome. But almost everybody here, so you guys are Dive members in live. 88, please, Sheeb. We got House asking for Sheeb, asking for 88. You guys are putting your request right now. Yes. Okay, we'll get to those. Let's do, just put those on the list. ADA, Sheeb, PYR, and US. Yeah, of course. Yeah, sure. Yeah, before we do that, we'll look at USDT. So you guys all know what's happening with USDT.D. It is the chart that is near and dear to me. I'm constantly on that chart every single day. And in fact, let's do better than that. Let's do better. Let's look at our old map. You guys all have our current maps. What's our last map for USDT? Let me pull it up real quick. Sorry, you guys don't want to see my sick pictures. Me being sick. Where is our USDT? We did a whole tutorial on it. All right, here we go. All right, so everybody had our tutorial. Now this one's really messy because this is the advanced version, but maybe the more simple version was here. We went over USDT.D. We had a whole class on it. It was one of the best classes I feel that I taught. I taught this in depth and showed you guys how to step by step do up to 4 different analysis on USDT.D and why they were important. They all tell a story, and we did 4 analysis from the sword method, and it was all pointing to this area. Okay, all pointing to this area, and people are asking, are we at a top? And it's possible we're at a top. There's a little bit higher top, but right now we are at the top of this area. So either one or two things are going to happen. Either we're going to drift to the side, or we're going to start coming back down before like catching our breath, because at the moment there's a lot of evidence that says that this area is a top. Mine's is really complicated, but your guys' was more simple. I should have used your guys' screenshots from that day. But here we are. Let's look at it one more time and see what happened. But everybody knows what happens. You guys all had the map, so you guys will look at your chart and it's going to look the same. What happened? Again, all of this area was pointing to a top, and we started rejecting. Where did we reject to? We came all the way back down to the top of this channel here. So if you remember, this was one of our analysis. This was the second one we did. Here, in green, here, we drew it. And now, what is happening? What is this telling you? Prices broke above here, came back down, came up to challenge the top, and now came back down. But look at the meat. Look at the structure. What is this telling you guys? Who wants to comment? Who is that? Is that Christian? Yes, I recognize your voice. That manly, godly voice that Christian has when Christian talks, you guys, it's really manly. It's godly. I feel like repenting just listening to him. So, so yeah, Christian is right. Christian said it's building strength, and that's exactly what it's doing, guys. We broke above this channel, so price is still going upwards, but now it's like doing this shape. What the heck is that? What is that all about? Well, what it's about is price. If it was really weak, it would be rejecting right here at this top. But no, it built up, stopped, came back down for a little bit, and then came up, reached a new high, came back down. But now, as soon as it hit this bottom, it's building. In fact, it's the mid phantom of this, which is an accelerated adjustment zone. It's not even the top of this one. It's actually the top of this one, which is even sharper. And this was also one of the map points we did. So everybody has this live. We did this in the tutorial. And if you guys don't know that tutorial, it's on the website. Just look at my last post. And I love that tutorial. But you guys have that. This is our purple set. Remember, we did the purple set, and you guys followed along. And now this is that midpoint. Now, do we have response of this mid phantom in the past? Yes, right there. Price came up to this point in the past and came down. And now prices came down to that top point. You can see it. We came down right here. And now we came back down again. So price is responding to this accelerated adjustment zone. So that tells me that there's a higher chance at the current moment, there's a higher chance we're now going to come up and challenge this new height, and possibly where we have this vortex point where these old highs are meeting and all the lines come together in this one area, just like they did last time, but now they're going to come together here. We will be the first to know now if things get dangerous. The number we're looking at now is 9.77. So I'm going to be looking at 9.77 as my top. If price comes and breaks above and sits down on that, then that means we're going much higher to 12.95 or possibly higher. But at the moment, since we're already starting to build strength, we looks like this chart will go up. Now, why do we spend so much time on USDT.D? Who wants to explain it? Yep, Michelle. That's right, because it drives the market. And when we see the manipulation happening on this chart, cryptos follow, because there's a lot of Ponzi scheme that's happening in crypto. When this good time to sell right now, when this chart moves up, your cryptos come down, and when this chart goes down, your cryptos move up. So we follow this chart very closely, because what happens in here affects the whole crypto market. You know, all the money that's being used to buy Bitcoin is often in USDT.D. The trouble is the money in USDT, what the money that's in USDT doesn't really exist, at least not in the amounts we think it is. It is not regulated. In fact, before we continue, this is a good time to just point out that I think it was Yuri who sent me the YouTube link. It's on, I posted the video, and it was about exposing the founders, or the people who are in charge of the whole Tether Ponzi. And when that happens, when Tether goes away, the whole house of cards falls. It's true. But I saw this, and I'm not going to show you the whole video, but I did want to show a certain clip that I got from it. Check this out. All right, look at this. Here it is. I'm gonna share it to you right here. These are basically the people that are in charge of Tether. Okay, there's a few of them, and they were involved in the creation of a. It was explained they were involved in the creation of a Ponzi scheme software to hack into. Hold on, let me mute somebody. Okay, they were basically hacking into an online gambling website that they were in charge of. So there was an online gambling website, and they had this software that basically looked at the opponent's hand of cards. So it's almost how like when you're on an exchange and you put in a stop, the computer of the exchange knows where your stop is, and if you put a stop loss, you almost always get stopped out, and they close your transaction. It's something like that, but on a greater scale. It was called God Mode. Yeah, it was called God Mode. Thank you. The Yeah, and the chief financial officer is Giancarlo Devashini, a former plastic surgeon from Italy who was once described on Tether's website as the founder of an successful electronics business. The only reference him to turned up in the newspapers, he was once fined for selling counterfeit Microsoft software. He did a lot of stuff, but his wife did all this artwork, and he was very interesting. In crypto, we trust with a sheep's head or a llama head. And then she also did this one. We are Satoshi. Now, Satoshi is basically the owner of Bitcoin, the founder of Bitcoin, but who is the real Satoshi Nakamoto? I don't believe Satoshi Nakamoto is a real person. I believe it was a mixture of Samsung, the name Samsung, Toshiba, and something like that. They mixed it all together. But here's the one that really concerned me. I won't read this out loud, but this is the artwork that his wife created. Founders of Tether, and they say, oh yeah, everything's fine, and they have the Bitcoin symbol here, and they have all kinds of symbolisms. These people are part of clubs. But listen to this. Sorry, we're not federal, and we have no reserve. They're not federally regulated. Is Tether. No, it's a Wild West. Just like some of you guys have exchanges that are like, yeah, skull? Oh, skunk? It looks like a, it looks to me like a, yeah, yeah, it looks like a skunk. It stinks. That's right. And then we got blood on the wall. Possibly paint, possibly blood. What is this? What are these seeds? I don't know what these seeds are. What maybe they represent bags or bad fruit. They look like shriveled up pumpkins or something. Uh, Bitcoin. Yeah. And here's the biggest part. There's no reserve. So what does this tell you? That the money that Tether says they have, they don't really have. And even when they do say, oh, they say, oh yeah, we have that money and it's tied up in Bitcoin, but then it's used to purchase Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin's value goes down, then did they really have the money in the bank to equal $1? No, and it goes worse and worse and worse. But we're not going to get into all of that. But these are those people who are responsible. But really, the truth is, there are many coins and that are built. The whole crypto infrastructure is based on this, and we know that one day all cryptos will crash. I had a dream last year, and I saw that there was people were trying to survive after this great crash. The only regulations, I believe the regulations will come. I will believe it also. It's like other people's dreams where they saw that there was a gate that shut out and XRP came out first and everything else was else behind the gate. I don't believe that was part of just these local pumps that are happening during these days. I believe that that dream of that train and all the other people, the coins that you guys heard about, I believe that's for a time in the future when there is regulations, when the whole network goes down, when the internet goes down, when the internet switches flip back on, XRP is going to be about the only one that's regulated. Them and the 5 other ISO coins: IOTA, XDC, XLM, um, some of the other ones you guys know I'm talking about. There's going to be certain cryptos that are going to survive, and the rest are going to come along afterwards. But there's going to be a time when these things are not going to be, not going to be good. So later on, yeah, Bitcoin will rise again, but eventually it's going to come back down, and I believe it will go away once and for all, one time in the future. Yep, the online poker cheating scandal that keeps going and going now has entered your online cryptos. And that's why when things get too hot, Binance, what do? They stop trading on Bitcoin itself for some people. They stop. They literally tell you Celsius stop. They said, oh, we're going to stop trading on for Celsius. They lock people out of their own money, their hard-earned wallets. This is crazy stuff, but it's the world we're living in. We have to be ready. We have to be wise. Pray. Everyone needs to pray about their finances and pray that God protect them through this. All right, guys. So anyway, with that all said, let's begin our quick tutorial. Just when go fishing. Smooth Food says CIA, probably, possibly. Let's see. Let's read some of the comments from you guys. Bob says, sell anything you don't need anymore. Move it to an exchange in USDC. That would be wise. That would probably be wise. USDC is US dollar coin. And wait for some great prices. Unless you have no XRP, that's definitely a buy. A small bag of XRP. That's not financial advice. A lot of people stable coins. We know a time's coming when the banks are not safe, and it's possible that those days are coming up soon. So if the banks are not safe, it's possible that we can have Tether doing some weird stuff very soon. I didn't think the timeline was so far out, like years. I thought it was more like closer to February or December, but there's a possibility that it's this July, at the end of July. It's possibly along the lines of the dream that I also had. I also wanted to talk about somebody's dream. Augie had a special dream that he referred to me, but I'm going to make a special video about that. All right, guys, let's go to our tutorial for today. I love all the crypto news that you guys are submitting because we are taking care of each other. Bob says, we listened. I switched all orders from USDT to USDC. Great, Bob. I hope you're more safer right now. That's also a wise choice. And if that's for you guys, please look at moving money from USDT to USDC. The stable coins have lost their peg, but USDC has not really lost its peg. It's still flat, and you can see Tether all over the place, even though it's like supposed to be at $1. Some of these coins are losing their peg. One went to like 93 cents the other day. One of the stable coins, and I think that you're going to see cryptos like Tron go down, USDD, I think it was. But anyway, today's not that day. I give you guys too much. Let's do a tutorial. Let's start with a prayer. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this group of people, and I pray that you would open up our minds, open up our hearts to what the Spirit has to say to the churches. If you need to say anything to me during the middle of the class, Lord, I pray that you start moving in me more and more during those times. I know this is just a group where we're talking about cryptocurrency, but Lord, I also want you to have your way, and I want to open up my heart to in a better way. I also want to teach, even though we're teaching of secular things and earthly things. I also want to do this effectively. I pray that you would be with everybody, let their minds be expanded so that they would always grow and grow more and more every day. We put our lives in your hands. We put ourselves in your hands. You are the one that are the maker of heaven and earth. You are the one, the keeper of our souls. And our souls belong to you, Father. All of us we have belongs to you. We place ourselves in your hands, in your trust. Guide us, lead us as we're trading. Help us to make the right decisions in the right timing. Let all the prophecies be fulfilled. and let us step into the great generational wealth transfer. Let us not miss it. Let us have multiple streams of income. Let us have multiple streams of safety when it comes to all the craziness happening in the market. Like you prepared Noah, you told him about the flood, you told him about the destruction, and you prepared a way of escape for him. And as many of these people have had dreams where they escaped very harrowing situations, they were all in very dangerous situations that were beyond their control, and you made a way of escape even when the regulations and authorities tried to snap down, and all of them had dreams about police, but you kept them safe, and you, through the wisdom, you all guided them through it all. Thank you, Lord. We bless you for doing that. Keep us all safe in Jesus' name. Amen. For our crypto lesson for today, we are going to begin with let me mark the time. Okay, we're going to begin with flows. We're going to spend a few minutes on flows. Now, flows in the sword method are very simply identifying times where, let me turn off all my charts, times where price is making clear emergence of patterns. So to do this exercise, I want everyone to give me a crypto. It could be any crypto you want. It could be, I want it, generally, if we've never done it before, that'd be great. Maybe we'll just start with PYR. But if you guys want to do a different one, let me know. We need about maybe 3 of them we're going to use for this example. I like to give you a random one so you guys know that I'm not just blowing smoke up your nose. You guys give me random cryptos all the time. So you know how it works. You guys can do these things live. It doesn't take long. I'll do PYR on KuCoin, and then we'll do another one as well. All right, Safe Moon. All right. All right, so our first one will be PYR. Welcome to our tutorials. Everything in this video is not financial investment or trading advice of any kind. Everything is just for entertainment, educational, comedic purposes only. Bear in mind that I eat red crayons for breakfast. Everything is, please read between the lines per my YouTube disclosure. I will eventually chop up this part of the video and include it in a different segment. All right, on PYR, what we're doing, I want you to turn to PYR so you can come to PYR USDT. On TradingView, come right over here to where it shows the letters of your crypto. Click on there, and then you're going to type in the word PYR USDT. When you type that in, it's gonna PYR USDT. Huh? Oh, PYR, not PRY. That's why. So PYR USDT. And the one we're going to look on is KuCoin, okay? It's going to say KuCoin at the top. Just click on that one. Vulcan Forge PYR. Click on it, and then it'll launch a chart. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to change the time. We're going to come over here where it says time. Okay. And then we're going to come up to where it says 1D. Oh, no, 1W. 1W. Now that means it's 1 week worth of time, and each candle is 1 week. Remember, we can pinch and pull by pinching our fingers along the screen, or putting our track mouse on the bottom and just stretching it out here. And then you can come up to this side and you can stretch it this way. But just make it so where you guys can see it. Flows. Flows are all about how price is flowing. To do this exercise, we're going to go and just use a general highlighter. We're going to go to our tool, and we're going to come to where it says Geometric Shapes Highlighter. You can hold it down and add to your favorites, and then a little star will pop, and it'll show up at your favorites at the top. But you can also just go under Geometric Shapes where it says Highlighter. And this allows you to draw with your mouse, or if you have an iPad, you can draw with your finger. If you have a little thing like mine's, a little keyboard, you can always do Command Z to undo. Okay, but you have to turn off the blue thing first. Once you're done drawing, you can turn off the little blue symbol, and then you can Command Z to delete, or just click on the line and hit the delete. Sometimes my keyboard doesn't work. Right now it's not working. But if you want to, that's how you can use a highlighter. I'm going to turn it back on by clicking the little tool and highlighter again. What we're looking for is how price is flowing and what patterns we can identify from this. In this example, I see prices flowing down and then flowing up and flowing down, coming a little bit to the side and then coming back up and coming down. So this is our flow. You can see if I hit price or just kept this line as one, it's a pretty simple shape. And with this shape, this is a form of blocking out price to make it much easier to read rather than just looking at all the chaos. See, if I was looking at a 15-minute chart, don't do this, but I'm just showing you this. If I was looking at a 15-minute chart, I might look at this chart and say, man, this chart is all over the place. Look at this. This is what the markets are. Is it going up? Are we going down? Are we going up? Are we going down? Are we going up? Are we going down? And this is why some of you guys don't have any sleep. Some of you guys who've been just day trading, you know, you're just like, oh my God, we're going up. And you guys are like, you got coffee and you're afraid to sleep, especially if you're margined. That's why you should not go to margin. If you can avoid it, avoid it. Sometimes you need to just zoom out. Go back to the weekly chart. Okay? See what's going on. Because on the weekly chart, things will make a lot more sense on the higher levels. Sometimes. In this example, we can see that this was our flow. So what can we extract? How can we use trend lines to start extracting data from these points? Well, once we have our highs and lows, we can start taking a look at those segments. So in this example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 major flows in this. It will look something like this. 1. Let's do yellow. It's for the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Maybe that's 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 different segments. See, 6. Let's put a 1 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And of this flow, you can see that there was about 5 major points of energy. But these tops, these bottoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Different points of energy. Now you don't have to draw these every time, but you have to train your eyes to start looking for that. Because if you don't look for the correct flows, you're going to be looking at chaos all the time. The markets, I can't tell you how many people are really scared when they start trading because they just look at the chaos and they don't look for the simplicity of the markets. People have a hard time predicting the future of markets because they're always looking at the complexity, that 15-minute chart, the chaos, rather than looking at the simplistic answers, which are there in plain sight. We can use trend lines to predict the future if you can understand what's happening on the bigger picture. Sometimes the simplicity is on a daily chart. Sometimes the simplicity, you can find it zooming out, even on a 15-minute chart. You don't always have to look at a high level. You can apply these principles to a smaller level, but you just have to do it in a certain way. Again, you can't take your eyes off the horizon. You can't take your eyes off the big waves. You can surf the bunny waves, but keep in mind that humunga dunga's coming down the road. And that big wave's going to wipe out and eat all the smaller waves until it was like nothing. Now, looking at our first section and our first 2 sections, 1 and section 2, we can see that if we were to just focus our energy on just these 2 sections, we can extrapolate data. Okay, let's look at this first segment. Our flow number 2. So these are our flows, and this is our flow segment number 2. So this is what is called a segment. Okay, as I showed you guys in the picture, I just put it into different colors, right? Okay, here's our yellow, blue, just so you guys can see the differences. So if we're looking at section number 2 is made up of 2 points, a high point and a low point. But let's look at that energy, because is there any data we can get from this? I can get data from each one of these segments that's going to tell me something about the future, and I can use that to help me make money, make a better financial decision, make a better investment decision, make a trading decision, making a decision about if there's health, weakness, strength, coming in, exiting, leaving. I can tell so much about the markets. Eventually, you're going to be able to read charts like a pro and make decisions about what cryptos you're going to touch, which ones you're going to leave alone, and nobody's going to be able to tell you, hey, just buy this, buy that, and you guys are going to be fooled into buying junk if there's no health or anything. So let's look at this first segment because we can already get some data from here. Now, looking at this first segment, let's draw some lines on this. Here at the bottom, this segment is further broken down by the candles in this. Let's go to a daily chart to maybe see this a little bit better. All right, so here's that first section here. I just moved my flow up, straight up in the air, so you can see it's still the same flow. Let's move it just in the air a little bit, just a reference. And now we're gonna move to the daily chart, okay? So if you go down to here, to that button, click on it says 1D. That means 1 day. Now each one of these candles is 1 day. It looks a little bit more chaotic. It does. But you can use the same principles and gather some data. So just so you guys know, remember, this is just a random crypto that somebody requested before class to show you the principles. They work all the time, all the time. We're gonna draw now a new set of flows based on this. Let's give it a different color by taking our highlighter again and drawing the flows. Now we have a little bit bounce here, came down, we came up, came down, came up to this area, came back down, then we went up, then we kind of came to this area, and then we went up, pulled back a little bit, then we went up. Now, let's give that a different color. So if you want to, I'm turning off my highlighter, clicking on my flow, okay, let's change the color by clicking on our color wheel, and let's type it in. Let's make it green, okay? So now we can see a few different things happening. Now we got a lot more different shapes and patterns. This one, I'm not gonna draw all those little circles that I do, not all of them, but I did want to point out just a few of them that would be worth looking at. If you're taking notes, once we draw flows, my primary concern after I draw flows is foundations. Foundations are going to be one of your easiest clues about what to draw next. Okay, what does that mean? Foundation means how it all started. When you're building a house or you're building a tall tower, you look at the bottom, you look at the base. So we are primarily looking at the foundations of our flows, or in other words, those tops and bottoms. So how does that mean? Well, this crypto just started going up, right? Well, why did it go up? Well, what caused it to go up? What happened when it went up is the better question you should ask yourself. When it went up, it went to this area here, came up this far, came down, and never came back. See how we went higher, and when we did come back to this low, we just never came back to this area? We need to examine the beginning, the foundational area. So if all of this is my flow, if I was examining this flow, I need to be primarily concerned with the beginning. So I'm not really so much concerned with all of, all of this area. Okay, if I'm looking all of this is at one segment, I'll do that even better. I'll do you guys, how do they say? I'll do you one better. I don't talk like that. But I kind of want to use that word. It's fun. Turn off my lines. I kind of want to do that. It would be fun to talk like that. These are all going to be in the dive image notes. Okay. If this is my area, my foundational area is almost always on the left side. Okay. Let's put that in our notes so you guys can take notes along with me. After creating flows, we want to examine the foundations next. They are almost always the key. All right, here we go. After creating flows, we want to examine the foundations next. They are almost always the key. Okay, left side, and price moves left to right. Most of the secrets of what happens in the future is based on this side right here. Okay, almost always. Let's put that in the notes too, so you guys know. And you're going to see in just a few moments, I'm not pulling smoke up your nose. You guys are going to see how to do these in real life. But I want you to train your eyes. Everybody here, you guys are going to be trained to be pros at reading. Anyone can read. Then you can apply it to whatever cryptos and whatever trading and however timeline you want. All right. The left side, price moves left to right, and the left side is almost always the most important part. Why did price move up or down should always be your primary question. And that will keep you on your toes, that question. Why did price move up? Why did price move down? It's okay to, chalk it up to manipulation. There is actually real manipulation that happens. But for the most part, there's even tells with manipulation. There's usually big clues in advance of manipulation. Sorry, my voice sounds funny, guys. I'm coming over a cold. Yeah. Price moves left to right, and the last part is always the most important part. Most important part. Why did I put an ant? Did price move up or down? Should always be your main primary question. Main primary question. It will keep you on your toes. All right. At will. Who's he? Oh, let's see. Okay, I'll edit that. It keep you on your toes. Look at this. This is not even English. It keep you on your toes. It keep you. Oh my gosh. I know how to fix this. I know how to fix it. Edit. Yeah, no. Oh my gosh. We're gonna have to add a text. Look at this. I want to put the little wheel there. Who was that? Was that Bob? Oh my gosh. Is that a Boston accent? Oh man. All right. So now that we have our foundation, we want to look for structures on those. So primarily times when price moves down, as we're looking at our foundational area, we now know we want to primarily concern ourselves with this. What happened before price kind of went up? We came to this little area here where we arced over. We're arced over in this area. So that might be important. The other part is we came down here and we came up here. These are important. Here's where we can combine our lessons from last week. Last week about our accelerated adjustment zones and our foundational areas. Here, let's draw some trend lines. Let's move. I'm going to move my highlighter up. And now what we're going to do, and I'm going to show you how this works here. Let's move it down, just so you guys can see the principle at work. We're going to take a trend line, and we are going to draw. Actually, I'm going to show you where we're going to draw. We're going to draw connecting these three bottom points. Okay. We now examine our segment further, looking for oddities, looking for patterns. I should say oddities, patterns, patterns, structures, and things that our eyes naturally see. Now, why is that important? Because trust, I always say this, trust your eyes. If your eyes see a pattern, it's because almost always it's a pattern. And the word structure is not correct. Okay, patterns. Looking for oddities, patterns, structure, and things that our eyes naturally see. Okay, here we can see a curve. Here we can see price going another curve right here. We see price coming down to a sharp point. Price coming down to a sharp point. And of course our foundation. So here's our foundation, here's those points, and we're going to be examined. So these things, these areas should stand out. In this example, 3 areas stand out. Okay? They are 1, 2, okay, let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Got it? Now, what we're going to do is now we're going to draw trend lines using our tool and drawing and coming to our trend lines, clicking here. Once we click here, we're just going to come to our foundational point, which is that very bottom point right here, but I'm just showing you. And we're going to now connect the bottoms, this bottom and that bottom. We're really looking for the lowest bottom without crossing over the other bottoms. That's a little bit more advanced, but today I just want to keep it about flows. But now that I teach you how to draw flow, how to find flows, I'm just going to do a quick analysis showing you what I do next. So for those of you guys who paid attention to our last teaching, I know I'm kind of going a little bit out of order because I give you a little bit more complicated, showing you how it works, and now we're going backwards even more basic, just drawing flows. But basically what we can do is we can start drawing these lines, connecting our bottoms. And we can see if price is responding to that line. By connecting our bottoms, these 2 points, we can see that point 3 was predicted in the future. Okay? Again, this is point 1, this is 2, this is 3. This point right here was predicted because of the foundation of point 3. Let's type that in. Point 3 was predicted and was normal. Normal for price to bounce up because of the foundation connection of point 1 and point 2. Let's see if I can. All right, point 3 was predicted. Point 3 was predicted and was normal for price, and it was normal for price to bounce up because of the foundational connection point of 1 and 2. Drawing a line, drawing a line between those small tops, those small bottoms, revealed the future. All right. Now, let's do this in real life. If we were to take our trend line and take it to the bottom here and draw the bottom, and in this case, I'm just going to connect those wicks. And all I'm doing is focusing on these 2 areas. See? Right there, you can see price responded here. Days later, price responded. Beyond that, price came very close, and price also bounced up here. A few times, price responded to this area. Now, if I'm getting very accurate, I want to be at the very bottom wick to this area. very bottom wick, and then I'm going to connect this point again here. Now I can do this a few ways, by drawing a trend line and trying to stretch it out and moving this accurately, or this is a way I don't like to do, but you guys, some people do. I draw a trend line from the very bottom to here, stretch it out a little bit, make sure you connect those bottoms, and then go to this setting right here, the little setting button on your line, and click on extend line right, and it shoots the line into the future. And you can see that it was very accurate. Okay, see that? You can see price responding to this area. Okay, here's point 1, here's point 2, and now you have a response, and now we're almost complete. Okay, so as we come to our end of this section, there's one other thing we want to start looking at. When prices have changes of behavior, we can use these points to start looking for price doing the opposite. If price is bouncing up here, normally we should bounce on this line, but this time price came through this line, and then we started building structure on the underside of this line. Very, very interesting. Now, it wasn't enough to pull it back down below the low. It wasn't enough to really maybe take a short, but it was some weakness entering the market. Here we came back up, and a gust of air. Everybody thought, oh, we're fine. But then you came back down, still responding very accurately to under these lines. So for a few candles, something is very, very off. You know, and then what happens is you can see price building structure now on the underside, very, very round to the underside of these lines, and then we go down. You know that more weaknesses came in, especially when we start breaking through our low of this. Is this like a reverse cup and handle, something like that? But it's building structure on the wrong side of price. If price were really healthy, why are we trading underneath the foundation? Prices should be accelerating like we were in the beginning. They're not. They're now trading underneath these areas. And this is where we can get into a lot of trouble if we're trading below our major foundational areas. Okay, now there's more analysis that we can run in these, but this is just one of such analysis that we can run. The other ones you can do is you can do phantoms by drawing at the core and at the wick. See? Why did we stop here at the very top? Because that was our key angle. And again, last week's lesson about having key angles, this was very important that you guys watch that video. It's going to teach you this, the lesson. It's called sword method, and it's not the full method, but it's a lot of the basics of what I'm teaching. But as we take that angle and we can duplicate it by clicking on the 3 lines, you can now see putting it at the beginning back into the past. Oops, let me undo that. By looking in the past, here, all we're doing is just moving that same angle, guys, right to the top here, and you can see that in the past, it was predicting what was going to happen in the future, where those tops were going to happen. You can also further, for some of you guys who are a little bit more advanced, you can draw your mid-phantom, okay? If you want to, draw it dashed, okay? You can see where price cuts through. You can draw those as your guides and step ups. When's the last price cross through? Right here. This is the last place where price crossed through its mid-phantom. This would be a mid-phantom sword cut right here in this area. That's your mid-phantom sword cut, and lo and behold, sword method complete. Okay, look, price rounds on the underside of price at the top of a sword cut, and you go down from there. Weakness. I wouldn't be wanting to buy this crypto because we're not even in the channel. We're not up here. We're not bullish. You know, we have further downside. In fact, you can continue doing the same analysis. So I'm going to take a screenshot of these. I want you guys to practice some of these principles when you see these flows. Let's do another one. Let's do another one at the same. Let's break down this flow a little bit more. Okay. Now that we examined section number 1, segment number 1, we got a lot of data. We got the whole darn top just from that one segment. Wow, can you guys do this? Absolutely. You guys can do it. You don't need me to teach you all of these things. You guys can do them. The power's in your hand if you're going to put in the time to make a map. It doesn't take much time. Everyone can download TradingView. It's free. Okay? It's $50 free and 40 free cents. In fact, I heard on last week they were running a sale where it was free 99. Let's look at a little bit further. Let's look at the sections number 3, 4, and 5. Okay. 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So let's say that first section was section number 1. Or really, this was, I'm sorry, that was section number 2, right? And here was section number 1, okay? All right, so let's look at section number 3, 4, and 5. As we look at 3, 4, and 5, what data can we gather from 3, 4, and 5? Does anybody want to point out anything? Well, we got a few more minutes. Let's see, I'll call on somebody. Let's call on, let's see, give me 1 second. Christian. Okay, what? Yeah, between 3, 4, and 5. Let's look at the picture. Okay. What should we do next with section 3, 4, and 5? We see prices moving down. What do you think? What are your thoughts? What kind of data can we get? Can we predict the future from here first? Can we predict the future? Mm-hmm. Yep. We got section 5 from section number 2. Section 5 was predicted by section 2. In fact, let me just create a duplicate screenshot, putting those notes on here. Okay. Section 5 was predicted from performing sword analysis on segment 2, number 2. Okay, that was something. But now, can we predict the future further? The answer is yes, we can. We can now seeing that we have new tops, we can take section 3 and 5 and duplicate them at 4 and see if we can find the end point of 5. Price is going down. Are we going to continue going down? Is there further downside? Where should we be looking? Is health coming into the market? Has further weakness even come into the market? Let's look, okay? Using section 3 to 5, we can, or segment, I should say, segment 3 to 5, we can further observe or predict health and weakness. All right, I'll show you. Let's do it. Let's do it all together. You guys are going to be pros in no time. Yep. Yeah. So how did we get segment 5? Well, here's the thing. We know segment 5 is an area we're looking at. So if we were in the past and we were trading down here, we had the segment 1, right? Okay, the segment up here. So we knew this was our key angle. Then we wanted to see if it was correct. So we would perform an analysis on there. We took our key angle and duplicated that line right here at the very very highest point, right? This was our highest point. That was the only point we had to work with back in the day. Okay, we could see, hey, price was going up. This is our top. We would have performed it here and here at the wick and at the core. Okay, we got this, and I taught this one last week. But as we have our key angle, we duplicate it here. Now we can see price, as price is responding very correctly to the middle point. We can see this is correct. Now we're looking for price to bounce on top of this line. Here's where we got a breakthrough. We started building structure, but we already hit our high. So we hit the high first, came back down. Price is still healthy. Price will stop being healthy when it goes underneath that line and starts trading. So here we went underneath the line. We're going to be building 2 points of contact on this line where prices crosses over the midpoint. This is called mid-phantom sword cuts. There are micro cuts, but they are there. And that was a class for another day. That's a little bit more advanced. But you can read those points very well into the future when price builds structure in the last places where price crosses over. So that's a little bit advanced. Don't worry. For right now, I just want you to know that the last place where price crosses over the middle line, you can draw a sword cut and look for structure. You can also draw a sword cut when price crosses over this area. But here's the middle area, here's the bottom area. If price crossed over the top, I would also draw a sword cut there. You could. But I'm primarily concerned with structure at sword cuts. If I get round structure at a sword cut, I'm going the opposite direction. If I break above a sword cut and I'm sitting on it, I'm looking for price to go up. But in both cases, they tell me that we're on the wrong side of price at a sword cut. They kind of come together here, so it's a higher chance that we're going to get a sword cut where they meet. In this case, it was April of 2022. Let's continue further. Now that we have these points, let's draw these segments together. We can now take a trend line and we can draw it out. Let's give it a different color set. Let's do it as, say, green. Okay, green. I'm going to turn off that setting where I extend the line. I don't need to do that. I'm going to make the line solid. Now what I'm going to do is draw this sword line, this trend line that looks like this. So let's just draw this out, and I'm going to take a quick screenshot so you guys can see. Connect the tops. We're almost done for our lesson today. I'm almost over time. Okay. Now, after we connect the tops, we're going to duplicate the line. We're going to click our visual order. And no, we're going to click on the line, and we're going to click on clone. Click on the word clone, and now you have a duplicate line. It's the same angle. We're going to click on that angle, and we're going to move it to the bottom here. You can move it to the lowest point right now. There's 2 places you can move it. To the lowest core, which is the meat, the red or green candle, the very bottom, or the very, very string. Right now, we're not going to talk about the differences. Just move them to the bottom. And now you can start using a new area. Sure, they are segment 3, 4, 5. And if I was doing it here, and I took a screenshot, it would look like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Oh, let's do the same numbers that we did before, right? Okay. 3. That's not 3, 4, 5. Okay. Good. Now, duplicate the same line you just drew using the clone tool by clicking on the line. This will create a phantom line. Your or phantom angle, I should say. Angle. That's an angel angle. Your job now is to move it to the lowest points, either core or wick. In this example, it will be in this example, the lowest point is section 4. Section 4. All right, guys. Okay. L to tool. The tool. Oh. Cone 2. All right, here we go. And then let's identify this as phantom, so you guys can see phantom angle. It's invisible to the naked eye. This angle is invisible to the naked eye, and then the angle, or key angle, is up here. Okay, between these points. So you connect those points, and you're going to have your phantom angle. All right, let's continue. Now let's do it in real life. Okay, here we have, in fact, I'm going to borrow this line just by moving it down. No, I'm not, in case I need to show you that again. All right, here we go. Let's draw a line between these points in real life by clicking here, this line, and we're going to click on trend line. Come here, draw it out. If you guys are just jumping into our dive for today, thank you guys for joining me. We have dive classes throughout the month. Sometimes we do recaps, sometimes we do tutorials. I do explanations in classes teaching about the sword method. You guys can follow along with price in real time. So it's really fun. And they're $18 a month. Normally I don't go as long as today teaching, but I said I was going to do recaps. Anyway, let's duplicate this line. Now that we have it, we're going to click on the line, and it should bring up this little toolbar here. As we click on that line, on the line, click on, it'll show the toolbar. Click on the 3 dots. Click on clone. We're going to clone the line like they cloned the lamb, Dolly. And then we're going to bring it to bottom of section 4, which is right here. And lo and behold, what? Price is bouncing here? Why did price come down here and stop? Because that is natural. That's what's normal. This is, anything in here is organic. It's what should happen. Okay? Everything in there is organic. Okay? So we can see that. Now I'm not going to get more complicated than that, but we can, if you wanted to. That's a little bit more further for another class. But this is just using two parts of the flows and trying to find those flows, and just drawing your flows is going to help you. Sometimes the patterns are a straight line. Sometimes they're a parabolic. Sometimes they're a pennant, which is all three we're using primarily in the pennant ones is tiger analysis, straight lines, key angle analysis, and parabolics, and a mixture of parabolics can be used in a mixture of tiger analysis, which you're going to see introduced next week for some, but that's an advanced class for some of you guys who are more advanced. I'll let you guys know what type of class it is. Today is a beginner class. All right, now I'm going to quickly perform an analysis on this. What was PYR? Because I said I was going to do one. So just quickly looking at this energy center here. I'm sorry, need to do this one real quick. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great. I would be primarily looking at this area as there's still a little bit of health in the market. I would be watching this point right here. Okay, I'm not going to do a full analysis on here, but I'm going to give you some price points to watch for PYR. All right, those are the price points we want to watch. We know health comes back in above $7.15. If we start trading below $1.91, we're becoming severely weak. If we start rejecting here at $4.40, you know that you're going to go further down to these areas down here. Okay, so if you go up and you start rejecting at this, you know you're going further. If you go down now and you start trading underneath this area, that is very sick, and that would be sick territory coming in. You don't want that to happen. Here's health. Okay. But right now, I just want to give everybody that for one. All right, before we continue, before we end for today, we won't have a Bible reading today. I did go too long. I did want to give you guys those recaps that you guys asked about, ACC trend line, and I hope you guys followed along. If you followed along and want to show me some of the lines you drew, I would love to see some of you guys' progress, small or big. Please send it to me at j.song7784 at icloud.com. That's j.song7784 at icloud.com. I'm going to put that in the chat. You guys can take a screenshot of it if you want to. icloud.com. Let's do those recaps that you guys asked for, and we'll open up for a discussion. Just a moment. What was your recaps you got? Let me pull back my page. The first one was ADA. Let's look at ADA real quick. See if ADA had some changes. Did this tutorial that it wasn't helpful for somebody? You know, I realize, guys, that some of these maps are complicated. I know. I don't. You know, guys don't have to tell me twice. I know some of the maps are complicated. Some of them are simple. Some of them are complex. But whatever they are, they all fall. Almost all of them fall within the rules of being fairly manageable. I mean, nothing should be too off guard. You should. Some of these charts, you're going to have several options. You're going to know your moves, but you're going to know your moves in advance. You're playing a game of chess. You need to know at least your opponent's moves, a few moves in advance, or to know the board you're playing on. If you're playing basketball, you need to know where the 3-point line is, the layup, where can you shoot a layup, you know, to give you the edge and where you can start winning and helping you get the odds. Right now, the last map I have for ADA, weakness has came in the markets around June 9th, June 10th. We're bouncing here. We're still responding to these lines very accurately. To me, this is a little bit of a slop. Everything is just going sideways, but we've had these lines for quite a while. These are all based on these foundational lines that happen. A lot of stuff happened in the foundational lines, but primarily I'm expecting one big behavior. Either we're going to trade underneath 4.40 cents, and then things are going to go sour real quick. Well, maybe not real quick, but shortly after, 0.40 cents. Visual order, bring to front. Okay, if we start trading underneath 40 cents, I'm looking for prices to go down, and then we can hit some lows, but we need to find some lows. But right now, that looks like the only really probably lows we're gonna have is, you know, just flats around 17 cents. These are your flats, just drawing some flats, and I'll teach you how to do that one day, but it's not hard. I would be looking for price to cross below here at the moment. This is the map I have. I wouldn't be expecting health to come into the market until a few areas here and here. Both are performing correct. This is not chaos. Look at this. Foundation. Here's your secondary point. And this point right here, is this random? No, it's not random. This is exactly where we should reject. When is health going to come in? When we start trading on this side of the line. Okay? When we're on this side of the line, this is health. Okay? this side of the line, let me do that again, is thick. Keep your eyes on those two areas. Next one, June 22. Is today the 22nd? Yeah, right? That was 80A. Oh, is it the 21st? Well, better late than never. It's the 22nd for house, Michelle. Guys. Okay, well, forgive me. Safe moon. Somebody's asking for safe moon. Okay, let's look at safe moon real quick. Here it is, safe moon. All right. Very, very, very interesting. This was one of our main angles up here. Price responded to it well few times, and then we stopped responding. We stopped responding to the bottom. Well, we did respond to the bottom a bit. We started trading underneath the bottom, came down here, and then we came up. And look at this. Look how it responded to our sword cut. I'm gonna delete this real quick so you guys can see this white line a little bit more clear. But look at this. This was our sword cut. Price had this really weird structure. Just kind of went straight up and down. Not very good. This was a little bit more better, but no rounding. And then we came underneath. Came to a new area. And came up to the sword cut. Came immediately back down. So now no longer is price responding more accurately to this key angle. This key angle is actually a little bit off, by the way. You can always just go back to your original key angle and clone it out and then just connect the lines like that. But very off, price is not responding. When that happens, I check the weekly chart to see if it actually did respond. I'm gonna need to hide my lines real quick. This one's a little bit more advanced. Very small candles to work with, but I'm gonna draw this for you with a pencil. Look, check this out. Does this still look normal to you? Who says yes or no? Was that Pump Wonder? Nope. Superfoot says no. What do you guys think? Does this chart look normal? Mark says yeah. I would say yeah. And you know why? A lot of this, it seems very, very normal when you zoom out. A weekly chart now, but we can see that it looks more resistance. Now look one more time. Look at that daily chart. I'm going to show you this. On the daily chart, the lines look a little bit all over the place. They stop responding. This was our key angle. Price was responding really well, and then all of a sudden it just kind of goes up and down through it. Look at this going up and down. This is actually a shakeout of sorts, by the way. But it looks like price is no longer responding. Like it should have gone bottom, and then we went up past and created a new sword cut, but price isn't respecting that bottom. And then it comes up and it's respecting it. What is really happening? What is happening is there's a transition to bigger money. There's bigger money flowing in out. There's a bigger game being played. When you go to the weekly chart, sometimes you'll have to do the analysis all over again, and that's okay. And what that does is just makes a whole new map. In this case, I don't mind making a whole new map for this, but really it means that the higher players are going to be the bigger thing at work. In this case, is actually this energy up here. So again, I'm going to hide my lines, but you're basically going to now draw two lines. Let me draw that. I have highest wicks, and I'm going to draw the highest cores as well. with the different color. This core analysis is a little bit different, a little bit more advanced if you guys are a beginner, but don't fret, I'll teach it to you guys soon. It's the same way we just did our analysis today. When you draw a cores to wick, we'll teach the differences in a cores to wick class. But for right now, I'm just gonna delete some of this mess so you guys can, so it can make a little bit more sense to you. All right, again, what I did was connect the highest points here and here, and it gave me this as a top. Then I connected the highest cores, and it gave me this as a top. Both are in the same area, and both are responding very, very accurately. So what does this mean? It means what you're seeing in price is pretty normal. Okay, it means what you're seeing in price is normal. This should be a rejection. So is price healthy? No, not at the moment, not anymore. Why? Because the principle of the bigger fish. The principle of the bigger fish is that the biggest fish always wins in the pond until he comes across a fish that is bigger than him. And so because the bigger trade is on a weekly chart, you almost disregard the daily chart. If the bigger trade's on a daily chart, then you almost disregard an hourly chart. Now you may have leeway but within the bounds of the daily chart, and you may have leeway in a weekly chart, in a daily chart, but within the bounds of a weekly chart. In the same way, you may have leeway within a weekly chart, within the bounds of a monthly chart. So keeping your eyes on the higher time frame, the weekly chart is saying, yeah, you're okay to go up, but you better not come further than this, pal. The daily chart thinks he's all the boss because we can see a lot of verification, but the weekly chart saying, nah. If you want to go up, you're going to have to pass through me. And that's exactly what we're looking at. So we're looking now, we want to see price break through this line, and that would give us a whole nother sword cut. So even though our sword cut was correct on the daily chart, you get overrun by the weekly chart. And you notice when price stops respecting your lines, zoom out, zoom up. Okay? Right. That's a little bit more advanced, but don't you guys worry. You guys will get this in time. That's why I'm here for you guys. June 21st. All right, weekly chart. So now, what does this mean? It means we need further positive side. We need prices to break above these levels. I'm going to now delete the sword cut because we're now waiting for a whole new sword cut. We don't have one on the weekly chart. We can clone this out, and being conservative, we can put these at two places, and this would give me some bottoms. That means I'm expecting these to be bottoms at the moment. If it happens next week, you're looking at these prices right here. And if you're going to be bullish, you need to break above and close on the weekly chart 0.063. I'm just going to add that to the notes. If you will be bullish, you need to close above on the weekly chart point, and where's the price? 0.0006379, because this is where the main trade is. Okay, so the weekly chart is where the main trade is. So no longer will I show a daily chart right now. Right now, you need to pay attention to this chart because this is where we got the major rejection. It was on the weekly chart. All right, was that the last one? I think that was the last one. UR, Safe Moon. Oh, Solana, real quick. Yeah. Go back to the daily chart, Solana. So also thank everybody for supporting us in the work. Pray for the prayer meeting tomorrow, guys. I was letting you guys know I was invited on YouTube. I don't know if it's going to be, I think it's private. I don't think it's going to be recorded, but it may be put on YouTube. But they invited me to a meet and greet prayer meeting with many popular YouTube people tomorrow. So I'm excited. I know a few of the names showing up. Some of them I haven't met in person. Some of them I met on Zoom before. I wonder who's all going to show up. I'm excited about it. I feel a little like shouldn't be, you know, but I'm sure they all feel like that too. Seoul has some health locally, in this segment here, you can see price broke above a little bit, so that's a little bit bullish at the moment. I'm expecting major weakness in Seoul due to the USDT shenanigans. Breaking that peg from $1 is a big deal. They'll try and pour money in it to keep things up, but I am very bearish. Solana. I'm very, very bearish Solana because stuff is wrong. In addition to that, again, you've been weak. This is your trade. You should have bounced here, but now you're trading underneath here. This is wrong. This means price is going down. I did short Solana the week before last week, and I made some money on the way down. So I hope you guys did too. When we talked about it, I told people short Solana. You're sick. Solana's sick. Okay. We knew we might have some support at these areas. We're pretty close, and price is reversing. But this is what I'm gonna predict. That price is gonna be trading under here. It would be more confirmed. Okay, if USDT.D has a little bit more further downside, you may have a pump today or tomorrow. Do not be fooled, please, guys. It might be a chance to get out of Solana, but don't be fooled, please, guys. Just be careful, please. Solana is tied. It's gonna be like one of the whole Luna things. You know, it was tied to UST. When UST went down, Luna went down because it was tied together. And Solana is tied to, I think it's USDD. It has a sister. Okay. Where Jay? It's online. It's like an idiom. Huh? What did you say? Oh yeah, Tron. Tron is another one that's gonna go down. I've been shorting Tron too. And the other one is BNB, linked to Binance Coin. When all these companies get more exposed, these coins are gonna go to like zero. And if you're shorting them, provided you can get out, you should make a lot of money, a lot of money. And you could get out with Luna. So I mean, you can get out for pennies. But think about how much money was made shorting that thing, if you were able to short it. If you did on the futures, which you could. Don't be over leveraged on there, but somebody made millions on the way down, and you guys could do too. If they go to zero, like, or 0.0000, you guys will do well. You guys will do really well. All right, I think that was everything for today. I want to thank everybody for joining. Let's close everybody with a prayer today. Hope I didn't miss anybody. If I missed you guys' work, just let me know. I feel like there was something I wanted to share, but it's fine. I was going to share the dive schedule for this week. That was what I was going to share. Here's the dive schedule for this week. I'm so glad to be back a little bit better today. A lot better than I was. I was just sick as a dog. My dog would wake me up, lick me. Here's the dive schedule. 8 a.m. on Mondays, 8 p.m. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, 2 p.m. So the next dive class is tomorrow, 2 p.m. We will do more recaps. Tomorrow, probably a tutorial tomorrow because it's our Wednesday class. So we'll do some more tutorials. We'll probably do some more of the flows. So if you guys want to do that, I think that'll be what we're doing tomorrow. And then Thursday, 8 a.m. And then no dives on Friday. Bible study on Sunday. We didn't have a Bible study this Father's Day. I was really sick. All right, guys. Lord Jesus, we thank you for this group, and I pray that you just bless them and always help them expand their minds. Teach them, Lord. Teach them everything you need to show them. Show them many things, even things that may be a little bit beyond them, but show them in their timing. Let everything not be overwhelming for them. Let them have peace in the markets, just as you showed me, Lord, when I was young. I prayed to you for many of the secrets, and you showed me so many secrets of the earth, of them. You showed me so many things in dreams and in visions, and just I didn't know why I needed to do certain things, but you just tell me all the time. You would tell me what to do, and you taught me how to read and how to understand and how to position myself. And I thank you, Lord, for showing me this how to read, Father. And I pray that now that they're learning to read, and I pray that they'll apply themselves to many different markets, whatever the markets you lead them to, or to trade, to help them, give them an edge, or help them to navigate through our current waters. Or to help them navigate prophetic timelines. I pray that you would help them to read and to understand the times and the seasons, Just like you gave the dreams to the king, but you gave Joseph the skills, the abilities to understand those dreams, and the skills and timelines. You gave Joseph the ability to know the times and the seasons, and he was a man of understanding. He was a man of interpretation. And may everyone in here be able to interpret the markets and the things that are being revealed, the things that cannot be hidden, even though there's much manipulation. They have to show their moves, they have to show their cards, they have to show their hands. And I pray that you would teach us to read those hands, and to give us the biggest edge. We love you, Lord. We thank you for everything, and I pray that you would just continue to bless everybody with prophetic words, visions, dreams, and I pray that you would just continue to just make it beyond anything we can ask or think. Give us more of your anointing. Give us more of your peace. Give us more of your blessing. Give us more of your Holy Spirit. Put a special blessing on the fellowship tomorrow of the meet and group of these YouTubers and influential people. Lord, I pray that you would just bless it, Father, and I'll send my blessing from our group here. I'll send our blessings there. Teach us how to pray correctly in the meeting and to love one another, and support each other in the body of Christ. We love you. We thank you. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen, team. Thank you guys so much. I'll be right back for some fellowship. We'll open up, everyone can unmute, and I'll stick around for 20, 30 minutes or so. God bless you guys. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Cue the outro music.